She could have lived a quiet life. She could have chosen privacy, love, and a future far from the political spotlight. She could have stayed invisible. But Delcy Rodríguez, the current president of Venezuela, did not choose that path. Instead, she stepped closer to power, quietly, decisively, and without ever looking back. While the world focused on presidents, speeches, and sanctions, her influence grew behind closed doors. She became the woman trusted with the government's most sensitive decisions, its toughest defenses, and its survival at moments when everything seemed ready to collapse. She did not rise through popularity. She rose through loyalty and discipline. Behind the tailored suits, the cold stare, and the carefully managed public image lies a private story that was never meant to be examined. A story not of romance or public affection, but of sacrifice, emotional restraint, and a deliberate distancing from ordinary life. This is the story of Delcy Rodríguez, the woman who is Venezuela's real center of power. How did she rise? And why her ascent remains one of the most quietly unsettling mysteries in modern Venezuelan politics is a story that changes how you see everything. Let's uncover the truth, only on Empire Elegance. Delcy Rodríguez is not a leader who seeks admiration. She does not charm crowds or soften her tone to win approval. Instead, she dominates through presence. Every public appearance is precise. Every word is measured. Every expression is guarded. In a political culture known for fiery speeches and emotional theatrics, Delcy Rodríguez stands apart. Her authority is cooler, sharper, and far more controlled. She does not raise her voice. She does not improvise. She does not reveal herself. That emotional restraint is not accidental. It is the foundation of her power. Delcy Rodríguez did not grow up dreaming of romance or personal freedom. She grew up inside political grief. Her father, Jorge Rodríguez, was a revolutionary figure whose death in state custody left a permanent scar on the family. That loss was not just personal. It became ideological. From that moment, politics was no longer abstract. It was survival. The Rodríguez children learned early that emotions could be punished, that vulnerability invited destruction, and that power was the only shield against humiliation and loss. Love was not forbidden in that household. It was simply irrelevant. Her brother, Jorge Rodríguez, would later rise alongside her, forming one of the most powerful sibling alliances in Venezuelan politics. But insiders often describe a crucial difference between them. Jorge negotiates, Delcy enforces. Where her brother maneuvers behind the scenes, Delcy confronts the world directly. International media, foreign governments, and hostile institutions. She absorbs pressure so the government does not have to. That role requires emotional detachment, and she has mastered it. There are no wedding photos, no public partners, no confirmed long-term relationships. Delcy Rodríguez's personal life is not just private. It is absent. In a world where politicians carefully curate family images to appear relatable, her absence of intimacy is striking. It is not shyness, it is strategy. Every missing detail removes a weakness. Every unanswered question strengthens her position. In authoritarian power structures, love is not romantic. It is exploitable. In demanding systems, relationships are liabilities. Partners can be pressured. Families can be threatened. Private conversations can become political weapons. Delcy Rodríguez understood this reality long before she reached the top. By keeping her emotional life distant, she denied enemies any leverage over her decisions. Power requires isolation, and she paid that price. Her rise was not slow. It was decisive. Foreign minister, then chief international defender, and now president. At every stage, Delcy Rodríguez proved one thing without ambiguity. She would never break ranks. When Venezuela faced sanctions, she confronted global institutions head-on. When accusations of corruption and repression mounted, she dismissed them with confidence. When the country descended into crisis, she never distanced herself. Her loyalty to Nicolás Maduro was not emotional. It was absolute loyalty, and absolute loyalty always demands sacrifice. Those who have worked closely with Delcy Rodríguez describe her as intensely disciplined, not only politically, but emotionally. She does not confide, nor does she vent. She does not seek comfort. Every interaction is filtered through control. These are not traits of accidental personality, it is trained behavior. Over time, emotional suppression became second nature, a survival mechanism refined into identity. Many female leaders deliberately soften their public image by emphasizing personal struggle, sacrifice, or motherhood in order to appear relatable and emotionally accessible to the public. Delcy Rodríguez has always refused to take that approach. She has never asked the audience to understand her personal journey, nor has she attempted to present herself as a misunderstood woman navigating power in a hostile world. Instead of humanizing her authority, she has chosen to reinforce it, maintaining a distance that discourages emotional engagement. In her worldview, vulnerability does not create connection, it invites challenge. And in the unforgiving environment of authoritarian politics, challenge is a direct threat to survival and control. From time to time, whispers surface, speculation about relationships, unverified claims from diplomatic circles. But Delcy Rodríguez never responds. Silence is her answer. In political psychology, silence is dominance, and she understands that better than most. Power insulated Delcy Rodríguez from external danger, but it also gradually isolated her from genuine human connection. As her authority grew, her inner circle became increasingly small, and her willingness to trust others narrowed even further. Those around her describe an environment where spontaneity is rare and emotional openness is discouraged. There are no candid moments caught off guard, no unscripted warmth allowed to surface, and no visible emotional anchors tying her to an ordinary private life. This is the quiet cost of maintaining strength in a world where power demands constant vigilance. The most unsettling question is not who Delcy Rodríguez loved, but whether she ever allowed herself to love at all. If love existed, it belonged to a version of her that disappeared long ago, before loyalty replaced intimacy, before power became identity. In her life, love was not outlawed. It was postponed indefinitely. For Delcy Rodríguez, power is not fulfillment. It is protection. It shields her from betrayal. It ensures survival. But power does not comfort. It does not console. And it does not replace connection. That is the trade she accepted, knowingly. Delcy Rodríguez is widely regarded as one of the most powerful women in Latin America, yet she remains one of its most misunderstood figures. She has never sought public affection or emotional validation, nor has she relied on approval to legitimize her authority. Instead, her rise has been driven by a pursuit of control over perception, over narrative, and over power itself. And in a political environment where survival depends on dominance, that control is exactly what she has achieved. Some people shape their lives around the pursuit of happiness, while others are driven by the desire to leave a lasting legacy. Delcy Rodríguez chose the latter. Rather than seeking to be loved, she chose to be rigid. Instead of striving to be understood, she positioned herself to be respected. And instead of chasing personal fulfillment, she built a reputation for being untouchable. A figure defined not by intimacy, but by enduring power. The greatest secret Delcy Rodríguez buried was not a scandal. It was a life she never allowed herself to live. A life with fewer defenses, more vulnerability, less control. That life was sacrificed the moment power became non-negotiable. She could have chosen love. She could have chosen anonymity. She could have chosen a quieter existence. Instead, Delcy Rodríguez chose power. And once that choice was made, everything else became dispensable. Power always demands a price. and sometimes that price is love itself. In Venezuela's modern history, Delcy Rodríguez stands as a symbol of how deeply personal sacrifice can become entangled with national power and political survival. Behind every throne, every title, and every government lies a story that was never meant to be told, a story hidden beneath authority, loyalty, and silence. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe to Empire Elegance and hit the notification bell for more powerful stories about the lives and legacies of the world's most influential figures. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in our next video.